January 29, 1945, to 47 p.m. Holtzheim, Belgium. First Sergeant Leonard Funk steps around the corner of a farmhouse and instantly freezes. 90 German soldiers are staring straight at him. Some already have rifles in their hands. Others are grabbing weapons from a pile on the frozen ground. 4 American soldiers are kneeling in the snow, hands locked behind their heads. They were guards 20 minutes ago. Those Germans were prisoners. For a moment, nobody moves. Snow drifts quietly through the air. Smoke hangs low between shattered buildings. Then a German officer steps forward. He slams an MP-40 submachine gun into Funk's stomach and starts screaming orders in German. Funk doesn't understand a single word. The officer screams again, louder, his face turning red with rage. Funk looks around. 90 enemy soldiers. 4 of his own men disarmed and helpless. 1 American beside him just trapped. The math is brutal. There is no escape. No reinforcements, no cover. Any rational man would surrender. Leonard Funk starts laughing. At first, it's a short laugh, sharp, uncontrolled. The German officer stops shouting, confused, then furious. He screams again right into Funk's face. Funk laughs harder, bending forward, shoulders shaking. What happens next will take less than a minute. When it's over, 21 German soldiers will be dead, dozens more wounded, and the rest will surrender. Leonard Funk will receive the Medal of Honor. All because, in that moment, he couldn't stop laughing. Leonard Alfred Funk Jr. was born on August 27, 1916, in Braddock Township, Pennsylvania, a steel town. Smokestacks, foundries, the Monongahela River cutting through rows of worker housing. Just 8 miles from Pittsburgh. This was not a place that coddled you. You grew up fast or you didn't grow up at all. Funk learned responsibility early. His father worked long hours. Money was tight. And Leonard helped raise his younger brother while still a teenager. By the time he graduated high school in 1934, America was deep in the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce. College was a fantasy. Survival was the priority. In June 1941, with war already tearing Europe and Asia apart, Congress expanded the draft. Leonard Funk's number came up. At the induction center in Wilkinsburg, Pennsylvania, the Army doctor looked him over. 5'5", 140 pounds. The kind of man you'd assign to paperwork. They assumed wrong. Funk volunteered for the paratroopers. In 1941, that choice bordered on insanity. American airborne forces barely existed. The idea was simple and terrifying. Jump out of an aircraft, behind enemy lines, and fight completely surrounded. Most soldiers wanted nothing to do with it. The men who volunteered were different. They had to be. Airborne training was designed to break you. 5 weeks of relentless physical punishment, running, jumping, climbing, falling. Half the volunteers washed out. Then came the jump towers, then the aircraft. The first time you step out of a plane, or 1,000 to 100 feet, every instinct screams at you to grab the door and hold on. Your parachute is nothing but fabric, cord, and faith. Leonard Funk jumped and earned his wings. He was assigned to Company C, 1st Battalion, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment, training at Camp Landing, Florida. In late 1943, the regiment shipped to England and joined the 82nd Airborne Division. The All-Americans, veterans of Sicily and Italy, men who had already jumped into combat, men who had already buried friends. Funk was the new guy. At 27, he was already old by paratrooper standards. But he had something the others didn't: calm, steadiness, the kind of quiet confidence that makes men listen. By the time the Allies prepared for D-Day, Leonard Funk was already a squad leader. Soon, he would be acting executive officer. But first, he had to survive Normandy. June 6, 1944, Normandy, France. 1:30 a.m. The C-47 Skytrain shudders violently as black bursts of flak explode around it. Inside the aircraft, red lights, Leonard Funk stands in the stick. One of a line of paratroopers waiting to jump. 60 pounds of equipment is strapped to his body. A Thompson submachine gun, ammunition, grenades, medical kit, rations. The plane is flying at barely 400 feet. Too low for a safe jump, but the pilots can't climb. German anti-aircraft fire is everywhere. Tracers slice through the darkness like burning insects. Metal fragments hammer against the fuselage. The men can hear it. They know how exposed they are. The Normandy airborne operation is massive. More than 13,000 paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne Divisions are dropping into occupied France. Their mission is simple in theory. Land behind the beaches, secure bridges and crossroads. Stop German reinforcements from reaching the coast. In reality, almost nothing goes according to plan. The green light snaps on, Leonard Funk jumps. The prop blast slams into him, a truck. For a fraction of a second, there is nothing but darkness and wind. Then the parachute snaps open. And suddenly, everything goes quiet. Below him is France. Enemy territory in every direction. From the first minute, D-Day for the airborne troops is chaos. German flak scatters entire formations. Paratroopers are blown miles off course. Some land in flooded fields and drown under the weight of their equipment. Others drop straight into German positions and are killed before they can even cut themselves free. Funk hits the ground hard. His ankle twists violently beneath him. Pain explodes up his leg, badly sprained, possibly fractured. Every step will be agony for the next 2 weeks. But Funk doesn't stop. He can walk. He can fight. That's all that matters. He gathers his parachute, buries it, and starts moving through the darkness. He has no idea where he is, no idea where his unit landed. He's more than 40 miles from his intended drop zone, alone, in enemy-held France. Within hours, Funk begins finding other paratroopers, men from different companies, different regiments, lost, disoriented, looking for someone to follow. Funk becomes that man. Over the next 10 days, Leonard Funk leads a growing group through German-occupied territory. 18 men in total. They move only at night. They hide during the day. They fight when they have to. Despite his injured ankle, Funk insists on serving as the lead scout, the most dangerous position. He takes it so his men don't have to. They evade patrols, slip through villages, cross fields controlled by the enemy. Food is scarce, sleep is almost non-existent. The pain in Funk's ankle never fades, but he keeps moving. On June 17th, they finally link up with Allied forces. Every single man survives, not one casualty. 10 days behind enemy lines, 40 miles through occupied France. Leonard Funk brings them all home. For this, he's awarded the Silver Star, the third highest decoration for valor in the U.S. Army. He also receives a Bronze Star for meritorious service. And his first Purple Heart. Most soldiers would consider that the defining chapter of their war. For Funk, it's only the beginning. 3 months later, the war throws him back into the air. September 17, 1944, the Netherlands. Operation Market Garden, the largest airborne assault in history. More than 35,000 paratroopers drop into enemy territory in a single day. American, British, and Polish forces jump together to seize a chain of bridges stretching across the Netherlands. If it works, the Allies will be in Germany by Christmas. The plan is bold, maybe too bold. Paratroopers must capture and hold 7 bridges across 64 miles of enemy territory. Ground forces will race north on a single highway to link up with them. Everything depends on speed, on surprise, on nothing going wrong. Almost everything goes wrong. Operation Market Garden begins in chaos. At Arnhem, British paratroopers land directly on top of German armoured units that were never supposed to be there. SS Panzer divisions, for 9 days, they fight street to street, house to house. When it's over, fewer than 2,000 of 10,000 British airborne troops make it out. The phrase "a bridge too far" enters military history. Leonard Funk doesn't see Arnhem. He doesn't know the scale of the disaster unfolding to the north. He only knows his orders: secure the drop zones, support the landings, kill Germans. After landing, Company C takes its initial objectives, routine fighting. Then Funk notices something that doesn't belong in the plan. On high ground near a small village, 3 German 20mm anti-aircraft guns are firing. They're not shooting at planes. They're firing at incoming Allied gliders. The gliders are defenseless. They carry reinforcements, jeeps, artillery, medical supplies. If those guns keep firing, hundreds of men will die before they ever reach the ground. Funk doesn't wait for orders. He grabs 3 men and moves toward the guns. The German position is well prepared: sandbags, camouflage, interlocking fields of fire. Around 20 German soldiers man the guns and provide security. Standard military doctrine says you need a 3-2-1 advantage to assault a fortified position. Funk has the opposite. He's outnumbered 7-1. He attacks anyway. Leading from the front, Funk and his 3-man patrol hit the position at close range. They kill the security detachment, storm the gun pits. One by one, they destroy all 3 anti-aircraft guns, 20 Germans, 3 Americans. The guns fall silent. The gliders land safely. For this action, Leonard Funk receives the Distinguished Service Cross, second only to the Medal of Honor. By late 1944, Funk now holds a Silver Star and ADSC, 2 of the rarest combat decorations in the American military. For most soldiers, earning even one would define their entire life. For Funk, the war still isn't finished. December 16, 1944, the Germans launched their last desperate gamble, the Ardennes Offensive, 3 armies. 400,000 men, 1,400 tanks. They smash into thin American lines in the Ardennes forest. Their target, Antwerp. Hitler is gambling everything. At first, it works. Entire American units collapse. Thousands of soldiers surrender. A massive bulge forms in the Allied lines, 50 miles deep. The Battle of the Bulge has begun. The conditions are brutal. Snow, ice, temperatures plunging below zero. Men freeze to death in their foxholes. Weapons jam. Vehicles won't start. The cold becomes as deadly as the enemy. Then, on December 17th, something happens that changes the war for American soldiers. Near the crossroads at Normandy, a U.S. convoy runs into an SS armored spearhead. The Americans are rear echelon troops. Artillery observers, radio operators, they are completely outmatched. After a brief fight, 113 Americans surrender. They are herded into a field, disarmed, hands in the air, prisoners of war. Then the SS opens fire. Machine guns, pistols, rifles, men fall screaming into the snow. Those who try to run are shot. Those who fall wounded are executed at point-blank range. 84 Americans die in that field. Some survive by playing dead. They lie motionless in the snow 4 hours. German boots crunch past them. German voices laugh. When night falls, 43 survivors crawl away. Word spreads through the American army within hours. The Germans are executing prisoners. Normandy changes everything. Before this, the war had rules, unwritten, but real. Men surrendered when the situation was hopeless. Prisoners were treated according to the Geneva Convention. After Normandy, those rules are gone. When Leonard Funk hears what happened, something inside him hardens. He's already seen enough death. Normandy, Holland, friends buried in foreign soil. But this is different. This is murder. Leonard Funk makes a decision. He will never surrender to the Germans. No matter the circumstances. That decision will matter very soon. January 29, 1945. The Ardennes, Belgium. The German offensive has finally been broken. Now the Allies are pushing back, slowly, violently. Company C, 508th Parachute Infantry Regiment, receives orders to capture the Belgian village of Holtzheim. On paper, it's a small objective. In reality, it's a problem. Company C is badly under strength. Weeks of fighting in the snow have taken their toll. The executive officer, the second in command, has been killed. There aren't enough infantrymen left to launch a proper assault. Leonard Funk is now the acting executive officer. He looks at the roster. Then he makes a decision. Funk walks into the company headquarters tent. Inside are clerks, supply men, cooks, soldiers who normally never see combat. "You're all infantry now," Funk tells them. "Grab your weapons." He forms a makeshift platoon, 30 men. Most of them have spent the war behind desks. They've had basic training, but real combat. Most have never fired a shot at another human being. Funk doesn't have a choice. He needs bodies. And he will turn them into soldiers. The march to Holtzheim is brutal. 15 miles, through waist-deep snow. A driving blizzard cuts visibility to almost nothing. Temperatures are well below freezing. German artillery harasses them the entire way. Shells explode in the distance, sometimes too close. Funk leads from the front, always. When they finally reach Holtzheim, he doesn't hesitate. He organizes the assault immediately. 15 houses, Germans in every one, room by room, house by house. Funk and his improvised platoon clear the village. Machine guns, rifles, grenades. The clerks follow him. The cooks follow him. Men who had never expected to see combat, fight and survive. When it's over, 30 German soldiers surrender. Not a single American casualty. Another American unit captures 50 more Germans on the far side of the village, 80 prisoners total. They are herded into the yard of a farmhouse, cold, exhausted, defeated. Funk looks at his men. They've been marching and fighting 4 hours. There is still resistance elsewhere in the village. Scattered German soldiers who haven't surrendered yet. Funk can only spare 4 men to guard the prisoners. It isn't ideal, but there are no other options. "Keep them here," he tells the guards. "We'll send reinforcements when we can." Then Funk turns back toward the fighting. He has no idea what is happening behind him. While Funk clears the rest of Holtzheim, a German patrol approaches the farmhouse, 10 men, maybe 20. They are wearing white camouflage capes over their uniforms. In the snow and confusion, they look almost identical to American troops in winter gear. The 4 guards don't realize the danger. Until it's too late, the Germans rush them, disarm them, force them to their knees in the snow. Then they free the prisoners. Now, there are 90 German soldiers in the farmhouse yard. They grab weapons from the pile, rifles, machine guns. They organize quickly. These are experienced troops. They know exactly what to do. Attack Company C from the rear. Funk's company is scattered across the village, mopping up resistance. They aren't expecting an attack from behind. If 90 armed Germans hit them now, it will be a massacre. The German officer in charge steps forward, probably a lieutenant, maybe a captain. He begins issuing orders: position the machine guns, set up fields of fire, wait for the signal. And then Leonard Funk walks around the corner. He's come to check on the prisoners, routine, make sure the guards are okay, see if reinforcements have arrived. Instead, he steps directly into a nightmare. Leonard Funk rounds the corner of the farmhouse and stops dead. The scene in front of him makes no sense. His 4 guards are on their knees in the snow, hands behind their heads. The prisoners, who should be unarmed, are standing everywhere, rifles in their hands, machine guns being positioned, men talking, organizing, preparing. For a split second, Funk thinks he's made a mistake. Then he sees the white camouflage capes, German, 90 of them. The German officer spots Funk immediately. The first sergeant stripes on Funk's sleeve mark him as a leader, a valuable prisoner. The officer strides forward without hesitation and slams an MP40 into Funk's stomach. He starts shouting, fast, aggressive, orders. Funk doesn't understand a word. He doesn't speak German. The officer screams again, louder. His face is inches from Funk's, veins standing out on his neck. Funk looks around, 90 Germans. Some already aiming their weapons, 4 Americans on their knees. One other American soldier standing beside him, unarmed, helpless. The math is absolute. There is no version of this scenario where Leonard Funk survives. Any rational man would surrender. Leonard Funk starts laughing. At first, it's a short burst, sharp, uncontrolled. The German officer freezes, confused. He shouts again, louder than before. Funk laughs harder. He bends forward slightly, shoulders shaking. He looks at his kneeling men and says, almost cheerfully, I don't understand what he's saying. The tension in the yard shifts. Some of the German soldiers start to smile. A few laugh quietly. The officer's face turns purple with rage. This isn't how prisoners behave. They don't laugh. They beg, they plead. They comply. For a few critical seconds, the German officer doesn't know what to do. And those seconds matter. Still laughing, Leonard Funk slowly raises his hands. He reaches toward the Thompson submachine gun, slung over his shoulder. The standard carry position for paratroopers. The German officer watches closely. Good. The American is finally surrendering his weapon. Funk's hand closes around the grip. He begins to unsling the Thompson. Slowly, carefully, the German relaxes, just a little. He's about to have another prisoner, another trophy. Then Funk moves. In one fluid motion, faster than thought, he swings the Thompson down, brings the muzzle up, and squeezes the trigger. The M1A1 Thompson roars to life. 45 caliber rounds tear into the German officer's chest, 30 rounds in less than 3 seconds. The officer is dead before he hits the ground. Funk doesn't stop. He can't stop. The moment he fires, there is no retreat. No surrender. Only one outcome. He pivots, still firing. The Thompson sprays an arc of lead into the closest German soldiers. Men scream, men fall, blood splashes across the snow. Hot brass casings tumble through the air, steaming in the cold. The magazine runs dry, 30 rounds gone in seconds. This is the most dangerous moment. A Thompson takes about 2 seconds to reload. 2 seconds is forever in a firefight. 2 seconds is enough time for 90 Germans to kill 1 American. Funk reloads, empty magazine out. Fresh one in, bolt racked, all muscle memory. Thousands of repetitions compressed into a heartbeat. At the same time, Funk is screaming at his men. Pick up their weapons, pick up their weapons. The 4 guards lunge for rifles dropped by the dead Germans. Seconds ago, they were prisoners. Now they are fighting for their lives. The yard explodes into chaos. The German officer is dead. The laughing American is killing them. Nobody gave orders for this. Nobody knows what to do. Bullets crack past Funk's head. 1 round hits the American soldier standing beside him. He goes down instantly. Funk keeps firing, moving, killing. The Germans fire back, disorganized, panicked. They never expected this. The firefight is over almost as fast as it began. But in the snow-covered yard, time feels suspended. German soldiers are running. Some dive for cover behind the farmhouse. Others throw themselves flat in the snow. Several drop their weapons and raise their hands. Leonard Funk keeps firing. Controlled bursts, short, deliberate. He isn't panicking. He isn't spraying. He's doing exactly what he was trained to do. The 4 American guards fire alongside him now. Rifles barking. One grabs a German machine gun and opens up. The balance shifts violently. In less than a minute, it's over. 21 German soldiers lie dead in the snow. Dozens more are wounded. The rest stand frozen, hands in the air, shock written across their faces. 90 armed Germans have just been defeated by one laughing American sergeant and 4 men who were prisoners seconds earlier. Company C arrives moments later. They expect a massacre. They find something else: bodies, surrendered soldiers. Leonard Funk standing in the yard, Thompson still smoking. Not a single American is killed. After the fight begins, 1 man is wounded. That's it. Later, when officers ask Funk what happened, his answer is simple. I figured I was dead anyway, so I thought I'd try something. Word of the incident spreads quickly. Up the chain of command, across the regiment, across the division. In August 1945, Leonard Funk is summoned to Washington. President Harry S. Truman places the medal around his neck. The Medal of Honor. The citation describes his actions as conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity, at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. That language is official, clinical. It doesn't mention the laughter. It doesn't mention the moment 90 men froze because 1 man refused to act like a prisoner. After the war, Funk returns to civilian life. No speeches, no fame. He works in the oil industry, raises a family. Rarely talks about Holtzheim when asked years later what he was thinking in that farmhouse yard. Funk shrugs. I was scared. But I knew if I hesitated, we were all dead. There are many kinds of courage. Some are loud, some are calculated, and some appear only in the instant when there are no good options left. Leonard Funk didn't plan to be a hero. He didn't charge a machine gun. He didn't lead a bayonet assault. He laughed, and in that moment of confusion, he changed the outcome of a battle. Because in war, sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is act like you have nothing left to lose.